needs to happen for you to build a phenomenal business. Your business is a reflection of you. If it's not growing, it's because you're not stepping up as a leader. Our roadmap on how to build a business that gives you 3 things. Number 1, it's wildly profitable. Number 2, it gives you freedom to do what you love with the people that you love. And number 3, it is 7 times easier to sell to your current clients than it is to new ones. So how do we increase our monthly yield per member? We optimize their ascensions. People will challenge me on this and I will die on this hill. No one will sell as well as you. They don't have the same energy, and that's all sales is. It's an energy transfer. Most of us spend our time in 2 key places. That is the work and home. What everybody needs is a third space, a space where they can be around other like-minded people that share the same values. Your business is one vehicle. You can sell your business for a great net profit ratio, but you need to be going beyond that. To do so, this is it, part 3 of our roadmap on how to build a business that gives you 3 things. Number 1, it's wildly profitable. Number 2, it gives you freedom to do what you love with the people that you love. And number 3, it creates a change in the world. It creates everlasting impact. If you haven't done so, make sure you watch episodes 1 and 2. Episode 1, how to build a business to $20,000 per month, each and every month, the right way. Episode 2, how to build a business to $40,000 plus a month, the right way with these foundations in place. And episode number 3 is, what do we do now? We've got this great business. It operates at well over $40,000 a month with all of these things in place. How do we optimize it further? Well, I'm going to cover exactly that. So we're going to go through our key drivers. I'm going to be moving through this pretty quickly because you know what our 3 key drivers are right now. I'm going to be spending a lot of time in particular in the scale driver, because if any of the drivers are more important at this level, it is that. So let's start with our delivery driver, which is our experience itself. Now, at this point in time, we want to optimize ascensions. You got multiple layers and services in the business itself. And we want to make sure that we increase the yield per member. I cannot emphasize this enough. It is 7 times easier to sell to your current clients than it is to new ones. So how do we increase our monthly yield per member? We optimize their ascensions. What do I mean by that? It can be a couple of different ways. Number 1, it might be that they now take on a second service. They're doing team training, but they're adding a personal training session on top of that. They're doing team training and they're now joining us for our retreat. They're doing semi-private training and then they're bringing their partner along to it as well. So that's one way that we do it. The second way is that we actually increase the usage they have. So instead of doing 2 SBT sessions, it's now doing 3 SBT sessions. And you need to have a process and a system on how you get people buying more from you. Now, one of my favorites is the puppy dog close. So for example, you may have had a client in team training for a really long period of time, and you'd think that they'd thrive within semi-private training. And so you offer them, you say, hey, John, we've got this brand new service right now. It's called semi-private training. It really is personal training. I think you're going to love it because you're going to be able to lift heavier. You're going to be able to do some more complex movements. You're really ready for it. I've seen you in the classes, and this is the next level for you. What I'd love is for you to just trial it out on me. For the next month, do 2 sessions of that a week. I know you're going to love it. And then after the end of the month, we can talk about what it looks like to continue. All right, so that's a puppy dog close. Right? They don't want to give the dog back. The second way is that we actually tie it into programs. So for example, you might have a total body reboot. And in that total body reboot, you do nutrition coaching. So each and every week, we're reviewing their food diaries. We're giving them education on nutrition. And then at the end of the program, we make it easy for them to continue. So we want to optimize ascensions, yield per member. Second thing we want to do, I talked about it in episodes 1 and 2 is we're just going to stack more services and products. Maybe at this point in time, you're adding meals, you're adding supplements, you're adding merchandise. Your only limitation is your imagination and self. Go back to the episode I had with Anthony Cassis, and I asked him, I said, Anthony, how are you coming up with these great ideas? And he goes, I simply listen to my clients. What do they need? Where else are they spending money where I can provide that product or service and I can do it better? So the greatest ideas are going to come from the needs of your clients themselves. The next component in our delivery driver is that you're going to really have a third space. Now, this was a great concept. Next thing we want to do is we really want to double down on creating that third space. And this is a great concept. Adam Fraser wrote a book about it. Is most of us spend our time in two key places. That is the work and home. What everybody needs is a third space, a space where they can be around other like-minded people that share the same values, a place where we can decompress, a place where we can connect, we can collaborate. That is the opportunity we have as gym, studio, and fitness business owners. How can we facilitate that third space? And it really is around the design of your physical space and the extra services that you have. What you want to have is you want to have an area in your location where people linger. You want people there for a really long period of time. And I'll share a story around this. Our head coach, Jen Collins, listened to a talk by Thomas Plummer. He's been on this fantastic podcast a few times, and he talked about the importance of that. So she went from one gym to another gym in terms of ownership, and she created the front area with tables and chairs and coffee machines and meals so people would just hang out. Maybe you don't have that space, so you've got to be a little bit more innovative. Maybe it's the way that you have events. It might be walk and talks or social Saturdays, but you want your business to be the third space. And our last component of our delivery driver at this high $40,000 plus level is that you need to improve and embrace your technology stack. And so right now you're going to have a CRM, you're going to have some automation, you may have some programming software in there, and you may also have some retention software as well. At this point in time, you're embracing some AI, some custom GPTs around programming, nutrition plan reviews, and we're leveraging AI to augment the experience itself. Okay, let's talk about scale, because this is the key driver in building a business to $1 million plus. It truly is. So one of the things that I talked about in episode 2 of this series was the L10 meeting, how to run high-level leadership meetings. That came from the book Traction. The other key framework that we teach from the book Traction is your accountability chart and your VTO, the Vision Traction Organizer. The accountability chart is paramount for your business at this level, because the accountability chart is paramount for your business at this level. What it showcases is who is responsible to who and who is responsible to what. So you've got your typical organizational chart and it looks very similar. But this isn't top down. It's not saying I'm better than you. It's just who is accountable for what in the organization itself. Because if everybody is accountable, then nobody is. And so there's got to be somebody accountable for retention, somebody accountable for growth and sales and marketing, someone for the finances. And we need to ensure that your whole organization knows who those people are. They also know what their key responsibilities and outcomes are. So this single page accountability chart showcases the business, all the different positions, who is accountable to who are the leaders in the business, and what are their key roles and responsibilities. It's also forward facing. So it's what we need the business to look like in 6 to 12 months to accomplish and achieve our goals. And it's based on positions, not names. So what are the positions your business needs to succeed and thrive and get to that next level? Most of the time, we just look at who's on the bus. But that's not the best way of looking at it. Rather, we need to have a look from the top down and go, what does my business need to hit this next level? Now, your vision traction organizer is essentially your business plan. It's where the business is going to be in 10 years, 3 years, 1 year. And it's making sure that we define our USPs. We define our signature system. We're very clear on what the core projects are. And we understand our values, our point of difference. So we stand out in a crowded market. Our next component in this top layer is wealth creation. At this point in time, you're making great profit. Your business is making anywhere between 15 to 30% net profit. Now, that varies based on how much you're paying yourself and the style of business that you have. That's why there's such a key variance in there. But the component that I really want to implore here is that you are starting to think about wealth creation beyond your business. Your business is one vehicle. You can sell your business for a great net profit ratio. I did it. My coaches did it. We've helped several others do it. That's one exit strategy. That's one wealth creation strategy. But you need to be going beyond that. It's why I've had people like Jackson Milan and Arjun Palawel on this podcast. How can we start taking that net profit and build other wealth building assets? It might be property, it might be shares, it might be other businesses, but we need to have a strategy to help us do so. And that's why I'm bringing on these people, because your business may not be there forever. Have you started to think about what it looks like in the next 10 to 20 years? Have you started to think about how you're going to create income producing assets that create leverage for you and aren't dependent on your work or your business? If this is all a little foreign to you and new, go back, listen to the episode with Jackson Milan, fantastic framework, and then listen to the episode with Arjun. Property is one of those vehicles. It's one that I'm very bullish on. And then read books like The Cashflow Quadrant by Robert Kiyosaki, and you'll understand why this is important. And then the next category here is that we need to upgrade leadership. I've done so many leadership podcasts. I absolutely love several thought leaders in this space, people like John Maxwell and Jocko Willink. Your business is a reflection of you. If it's not growing, it's because you're not stepping up as a leader. John Maxwell has the law of the lid. And really, more than anything else, more than the economy, more than your product, your service, your location, the ability of your business to grow is completely correlated to your leadership skills and ability. And so right now, if you're stuck, you might be stuck at $60,000 a month, $100,000 a month, couple of $100,000 a month. If you want to get through that next level, look in the mirror, because you need to grow and level up as a leader. And I've shared a lot of the skills and attributes of what makes great leaders in previous episodes. It's going to come down to your ability to communicate. It's going to come down to your decisiveness, your emotional resilience, your ability to have a vision and inject the enthusiasm and the desire and the hunger to achieve that vision. And then our last category to build that 7-figure business is our attract and convert. Right now, we have all 6 lead flows optimized, dialed in. They're working together. They're complementing one another. And you've got this marketing ecosystem where leads come in many different ways. That's the first part. The second part is you've built a sales team. Now, I want to talk about sales teams really quickly here, because we work with a lot of business owners that want to get rid of sales really early on in the game. So they might be at under $20,000 a month and they want to get it off their plate. And there's components that you can do. Absolutely. But you, as the leader and the owner of the business, this is the second last thing you delegate in our delegation ladder. Why? Because no one will ever sell as well as you. They don't have the same enthusiasm. They don't have the same energy. And that's all sales is. It's an energy transfer. People will challenge me on this and I will die on this hill. No one will sell as well as you. It's not because you've got the greatest sales script. You just have the greatest energy. You're more invested on it. That's why it's the second last thing you delegate. So when you're at $40,000 a month plus, you will have other people helping you out on sales, but you're still heading it up. But now you start to build a sales team. So when you go on holidays, you go and add 10, 20, 30 new members. You train that sales team. You role play with that sales team. And I can tell you this, there is nothing more satisfying than seeing your business grow with new members and you're on holidays. To do so, you got to build a world-class sales team. And that's what we do at this level. Now, I talked about metrics earlier on. At this point in time, we're looking at a lot more data. So we're starting to really dive in deep into our marketing data. In particular, before we were tracking cost per lead, but now we're having a look at how much it's costing me for impressions, what my landing page conversions are. Now, I talked about the importance of data early on, very early on in our foundation. We're just adding more things to track at this level. We're adding more complexity to the data itself. So we're going to be diving into the weeds a lot more. We're going to be diving into our website data, how many people are actually visiting, what's our bounce rate. We're going to be having a look at our landing pages and how they're converting. We're going to be having a look at our cost per reach of our different levels of our campaign, and we're going to be optimizing accordingly. And then the very last thing, I've just called it high ticket. And what I mean by this is at this point in time, the entrepreneur in you, the creator in you is going to start to get itchy feet. You're going to want to create something new and you've got the capacity to do so. Why? Because we've got this beautiful business that has phenomenal foundations. It generates leads many ways. It converts them with ease. It keeps them for a really long period of time. We've got this phenomenal team that is delivering the product and selling the product. And now you can start to focus on something else. Now, what is that something else? The beauty is it's up to you. You might create a high ticket product that you deliver online or you deliver via a hybrid model. You might do a passion project, maybe a podcast, maybe write a book. I've done both. You may venture into a different vertical and test yourself in that space. See, most people do this too early, and it's why they really stagnate their business. They put the handbrake on it. They are the constraint, and then they're just spreading their energy in too many places. But when you do it at this level, it means you can do it having full confidence that the business is growing and growing the right way. So there we have our roadmap, our 3-episode series. I hope you've got incredible clarity on what needs to happen for you to build a phenomenal business. Start at the base, get all of those boxes ticked off, audit your business, move up into the middle row. Again, audit each one of those components, work on your weaknesses, and then before you know it, in 12, 18, 24 months' time, you're going to have every single one of those boxes ticked. You're going to have a business that is a lot of fun, wildly profitable, enables you to have a great life. And that's what I want for you more than anything else. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. I hope it's challenged you. And I hope, more importantly, it's given you the clarity to focus on what's most important. Thank you so much for watching and listening.